So let me ask you a question. What's the real difference between being optimistic and having hope? I mean, they sound pretty similar, right? But what if one is just a passive feeling and the other is a powerful reason to act, even when things look really, really bleak? Today, we're going to look at a small community in East Longmeadow, Massachusetts that lives and breathes a very specific and I think powerful definition of hope.
All right, let's dive right into that core idea. This distinction seems to be the engine driving everything this community does. It all came to light for us in a Sunday sermon that really grabbed our attention.
And here it is. This is the whole ball game. On one side, you've got optimism, which is basically the belief that things will just turn out okay. It's kind of passive, right? But hope, in this view, is totally different. It's active. It's this certainty that what you're doing is worth it, no matter how it ends up. It's all about the action itself, not just waiting for a good outcome.
And this isn't just some new age idea. It's got some serious historical chops. This quote comes from Václav Havel, the Czech playwright who became president. This is a guy who spent years as a political dissident. He knew exactly what it meant to act in situations that seemed completely hopeless. He wasn't doing it because he was optimistic he'd win. He was doing it because he was absolutely certain his cause was worth fighting for. Big difference.
Okay, so that's the theory. But what does it actually look like when a whole community decides to live by this kind of active hope? How do you take an idea that powerful and turn it into something real?
Well, it looks like a relentless boots-on-the-ground commitment to their neighbors. Seriously, they're not just hoping people get fed, they're out there serving meals month in and month out. They're not just wishing people stay warm in the winter, they're actively running coat drives for the local rescue mission. This is what hope looks like when it gets its hands dirty.
And that same energy, that same hope, it extends right to the kids in the community. They're making sure local students have food in their pantries, that they've got the school supplies they need to even have a chance at succeeding. It's a direct investment in the future. And again, it's not based on some vague optimism, but on the rock-solid belief that supporting these kids is just worthwhile work, period.
But you have to understand, none of this is random charity work. It's not just a bunch of disconnected good deeds. It's all incredibly intentional, and it all flows from one single core belief that guides their entire mission.
And here's that why. This verse, which is right there on their website, is basically the source code for everything we just talked about. Love one another. That's the directive. It's the belief that their entire purpose is to express that love, which then becomes the fuel for all their service to the community. Simple, but incredibly powerful. So, you might be thinking this is a recent thing, but this identity of service and hope, it's been in their DNA for a long, long time. Let's take a quick look at how it's been built and refined for nearly 200 years. You can see this story unfold over time. It starts way back in 1827, literally founded by families who were just tired of the long trip to the next town in bad weather. Then they moved to this central spot on the Rotary, right in the heart of things. Fast forward to 1961, they join a more progressive denomination. And then, the big one in 2018, they officially vote to become an open and affirming congregation. See the pattern? It's a constant move towards opening their arms wider and connecting more deeply with the world around them.
And that long history really led up to this moment in 2018 when they put it all down in black and white. This powerful, explicit statement. They wanted to make their philosophy of love and acceptance absolutely crystal clear, leaving zero doubt that their welcome mat is out for everyone. No exceptions.
Okay, so we get the philosophy, we get the history, but what's it actually feel like to walk through those doors on a Sunday morning? What can you really expect?
The very first thing they want you to know is just come as you are. Seriously, it's a core part of their identity. There's no dress code, no weird expectations, no pretense. Just show up.
And they've made the whole experience incredibly straightforward, not intimidating at all. You show up for the 10 a.m. service, parking's easy, a friendly host hands you a program, the service itself is an hour long and Bible-based, and then afterwards, you can stick around for coffee and just talk to people. Every single step is designed to make you feel comfortable.
And this simple phrase, which they literally put in their visitor's guide, just says it all, doesn't it? No judgments here. That's the promise. It's the practical application of that whole love one another command we saw earlier.
And all of this brings us full circle, right back to where we started, back to that profound difference between just being optimistic about the world and having a deep, active hope that actually makes you get up and do something.
To really drive this point home, the sermon that inspired this whole explainer uses a story many of us know, but it asks us to look at it through this specific lens of hope, the story of Oskar Schindler.
Now, Schindler, for a while, was just a member of the Nazi Party, a guy running a factory and benefiting from the system. He was complacent. But as the sermon explains, something woke him up. Something startled him into this higher calling, this decision to act like a human being should act, even in the middle of absolute inhumanity.
And this is the crucial part. Schindler's actions were not based on optimism. He had no grand illusion that he was going to stop the Holocaust or change the outcome of the war. His actions were based on hope, the absolute, unwavering certainty that saving lives was the right thing to do, that it was something worth doing, regardless of how it all turned out.
And so, that leaves us with a question, a challenge, really. The story turns from this one community, from this one historical figure, and it points right back at us. In a world that can feel chaotic and uncertain, what is that thing, that action, that cause, that simple act of kindness that you are certain is worth doing no matter what?